Hi there and welcome to this short video. I'm Alex Goad with 10x Your Life, and today we're going to talk about how to make the absolute best use of your time, and in fact how to switch the way that you think about time so that you get the greatest value out of every single moment, every single day. Here's how we're going to do that. The first thing is to realize and to embrace the fact that there are only 4 kinds of time. That's 4 kinds, not 8, 4. And since you only get so many hours in one day, the way that you use those hours and the way that the breakdown of the usage of your time happens is exactly what determines how much you can produce, how far ahead you can get, and just generally what you can extract in terms of value from every single unit of time, be it an hour, a day, a week, a month, whatever it is. Okay, so here are the 4 kinds of time, and I've ranked them pretty much in order of how desirable they are. And you're going to see this is a little bit counterintuitive. So the first kind of time is what I call deep time. So deep time is essentially time that you are using to focus very deeply on a very specific activity that can and will, when done regularly, advance your life faster than anything else towards the worthy goals that you're shooting for. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you want to dramatically increase your income. And in order to do so, you've identified that you want to learn the most lucrative marketing skills in the world, which is most likely copywriting. So you've identified that in order to reach your goal, you need to get good at copywriting. And you've identified that the way you get good at copywriting is by judiciously studying every single aspect of great pieces of copy. Well, when you do that, you're doing deep work. You're doing deep time. You're doing exactly the right thing, the most valuable thing possible. And that's the thing, essentially, that gets you what you want the fastest. So the more of that you do, and the more systematically you're able to do it, aka the more you're able to schedule that time and really move it along every single day, that's how you make progress in leaps and bounds. Number 2 is downtime. Downtime is not, and I repeat, not time where you're flailing about doing whatever. Downtime is time that is literally formulated so that you're recuperating, you're relaxing, and which means that you're not distracted. You're not all over the place. You couldn't be doing one of 100 different things or doing 100 things at the same time. You're not just plopping down in front of the television and watching one Netflix series after another. This is constructive recovery. So you need to think in terms of how do you use a part of your time every day so that you recenter yourself, so that you get your energy back up, so that you rebuild your defenses, your buffers. That's downtime. And if you take any calls, if you browse the internet, if you, for example, check your email during downtime, then it's not downtime anymore. It moves to this category, the worst of all, distracted. All right. The third most desirable usage of time is directed time. And by directed, I mean that you're taking your attention and you're directing it towards the accomplishment of a specific thing. But usually those specific things, when they're in directed time, are going to be like to-dos. So for example, going through your email, deleting the ones that you don't have to answer and answering the ones that you do have to answer, that is perfectly in that category. Making yourself dinner, taking a shower, making your bed, maybe reading trade newspapers, whatever it is that doesn't fit in this category, but that you must do in order for your life not to come to a screeching halt. So for example, you need to pay your taxes, you need to do oil changes in your car. All of that stuff falls in this category over here. And finally, we have the 4th category of time. And this is the time that you're never going to get back and that's not giving you any real value. And sadly, in our world, a lot of things are engineered to take your attention away from where you want to put it and put it to where they want to put it. And this is really a skill that you have to develop to become the master of your attention and therefore the master of your energy and the master of your time. So, distracted time. This is when you are not doing something that you have decided to do. So for example, in this case, you've decided that you're going to do deep work, that you're going to focus single-handedly on one thing and that you're going to get it done. Over here, you've got a list of to-do items and you're doing them purposefully one after another. And over here, you're either doing nothing or you're doing a high-quality leisure activity or you're getting a massage or you're meditating, but you're purposefully recovering yourself. The difference between all of those things and distracted is that when you tell yourself that you're going to do another thing and then all of a sudden you find yourself just browsing the internet, chit-chatting around the water cooler, spending too much time in one place. So for example, going to the gym and then spending hours talking with other people over there without having the intent to do that, just because you feel like you need a break or those things are fun to do, or even just turning on the television with the idea of watching a show. If you know which show you're going to watch and you've scheduled it in advance, that can go over here. But if you're just zapping, and trying to distract your mind, entertain yourself with that kind of low quality, undetermined, unpurposeful stuff, that's distracted. Now, here's how this all adds up, is that here's how high performers spend their time. Here's what your day looks like. At the end of the day, if you take the hours and you classify how they were used, a high performer, you'll come up with something like this, where they've used, I don't know, let's call it a quarter, maybe a little bit less than a quarter of their waking hours doing really deep type stuff every day or close to every day. This is the only time that actually creates progress in your life, because directed time allows you to stay put and maybe allows you to progress a tiny little bit, but it's not what allows you to move forward. Neither are the other things. So really, this is where the magic happens, and most people you're going to see don't have any time spent here. So high performers always have a big slice of the pizza that goes towards deep time. Then probably the most of it is occupied by directed time, because no matter how important you are, no matter the size of the company that you're a CEO of, there's still a whole bunch of stuff that you're going to have to do that basically allows you to deliver top performance over here. Finally, or not finally, but before last, a large part of time is reserved for downtime. So one of the things that high performers have in common with each other is that they take time to think, and they take downtime, and they go to the mountaintop and they look down and they get perspective. And it's very hard to do that if you've always got your nose against the grindstone, or if you're always distracted and you can't tolerate loneliness or boredom. So downtime is an important part of a well-lived day and a well-lived life. And finally, one of the goals, if you want to become a high performer, is to eliminate distracted time entirely. So that doesn't mean that you don't have leisure activities. It doesn't mean you can't browse the internet. It doesn't mean you can't text your friends. It means that you do so in a purposeful and calculated manner. So if you decide that, for example, on a given Saturday, you're going to play video games for 4 hours, well, that's absolutely fine. You're totally allowed to do that. You're encouraged to do that. It may be one of the things that allows you to refresh and come back with hunger to what you need to do over here and over here. The point is that you don't do it by kind of lack of intentionality, where you just kind of drift over into the territory and it starts happening, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you realize, where did the day go? Where did these last couple of hours go? What do I have to show for myself? And you don't have much, and it sucks. And that's the difference between high performers and non-high performers. This, in my opinion, is how most non-high performers spend their time. The vast majority of time is spent in the distracted bubble. Whatever happens is what happens, and that's just fine. And really, in fact, life can be centered around distractions, around the phone, around the internet, around the Netflix TV series, around the food that you're going to eat that's going to light up your taste buds. The problem with that is that it really creates a kind of drifting and an aimlessness. And this doesn't allow you to get anything that you want. And it especially doesn't allow you to get anything off the top shelf of life, because all of those things are done with deep focus, not superficiality. So continuing on, most people spend a great amount of time distracted. They do spend some time directing their attention, because that's work, that's kind of taking care of your daily obligations and the things that allows you to keep your household running. And then they've got a little bit of downtime. The problem is that, once again, the only thing that really moves your life forward is time spent over here. So there's only 4 kinds of time, and there's only one kind of time that separates high performers from everybody else, and that's deep focus time, which is why one of the most important things that you can ever do in your life to shift from being an average, low performance, low achievement person to being a high performance person is to figure out the one activity that you can do, even if it's for 15 or 20 minutes a day, that falls in this category and that really gives you a chance to move things forward significantly, so that you acquire a skill, so that you practice and become good at something, so that you can create and deliver more value into the world, be recognized for it, be paid on a higher level, feel good about yourself. The magic happens over here. And the magic also happens when you get rid of this. So that's it for today's lightning session. Think about it and you'll see that probably where most people disagree with this is they think that directed time is right, and that if you're doing all sorts of things at the same time, that actually fits in this category, and that maybe you're not being distracted. But I'll tell you what, when you nail this, when you get this down right, you can get in a couple of hours of this deep focus time in the morning. Then you can quickly do your directed activities, and then you can take the rest of the day off. And not only will it make you more productive, it'll make you more creative, but it also give you a sense of amazing freedom over your time, over your energy, over your possibilities in your future. Sound good? Well, I definitely think so. So anyways, enter your name and email in the box below. Give me a like, a share, a comment, something, and remember that today counts, so do something about it. I'm Alex Goad. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.